Welcome to the GoalBusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I am the creator and author of the Get Resultsology system and a dedicated accountability coach. My mission is to empower solopreneurs to unlock their true potential, boost their income, and achieve extraordinary success by maximizing productivity, streamlining their businesses, and aligning their goals with their authentic vision and purpose. So, if you're ready to turn ambition into action and transform your goals into reality, then you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I am delighted to say that our guest expert today is Jonathan Stark. Jonathan is a leading expert on value-based pricing, helping professionals earn more by selling their expertise instead of their time. With a background in software development and consulting, Jonathan's the author of 5 books and has worked with global brands like Staples, T-Mobile, and Cisco. Jonathan's mission is to help you escape hourly billing and build a more rewarding business. Jonathan, welcome to GoalBusters.
Thanks for having me, Robin.
You're very welcome. Whereabouts in the world are you, Jonathan?
Providence, Rhode Island, which is about an hour south of Boston on the east coast of the U.S.
Oh, fantastic. About an hour south of Boston and about 5 hours behind me. And as I often say, and nobody ever laughs because it's not funny, but it's what's called a dad joke. If you want to know what's going to happen in the next 5 hours, just talk to me afterwards and I'll let you know. All right. Moving swiftly on. Shall we do the questions instead of that nonsense?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, let me get the clock up on the screen. And there it goes. Jonathan, could you tell me, please, who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is either a freelancer, solo consultant, or a small firm owner, some kind of independent professional who is in a profession that traditionally bills by the hour. And even more specifically, it's someone who's really good at what they do. They've been doing it for a long time, and they are starting to feel like something's wrong. Something's wrong with the business model. They've been making the same amount of money for the past 3 or 4 years, but they're working harder than ever, and they can't quite figure out what it is. So those folks are the ones that I usually help. One of the ways that I help is that I help them ditch hourly billing.
Excellent. And you've segued nicely into the second question, which is what is the problem that you solve? But I'm sure you solve more than just that one problem. Please enlighten us.
Broadly speaking, I guess if you're going to generally say what I do, I help solo experts scale up their business without hiring. More specifically, I would say that you can work fewer hours, make more money, and not have to turn yourself into a manager or a boss. And there's a variety of things in my framework, I guess you'd call it, that work together to make that possible. The biggest one is switching from billing for your time to pricing for your results or based on your results. That's huge. And once you disconnect your time from your money like that, then you're just out of that trap of maybe $250,000 ceiling of what you can probably make per hour in a given year working a lot for clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is huge. That is huge. Thank you. I totally agree. Thank you. So, Jonathan, what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve the problem themselves?
I mean, just price something. Most people I work with have never priced anything. They could have been in business for 10 years and the only thing they've ever priced is an hour of their time. And to me, that's not really pricing. That's like if I asked a roofer for a price for what it would cost to re-roof my garage, and they said, well, shingles are 10 cents each. Like, that's not a price. Well, I've given you a price for a shingle. It's like, I want a price for a roof. I want my garage to be dry. I want no squirrels in there. And giving me a price for shingles doesn't give me the information I asked for. So clients, generally speaking, do not like hourly billing. They don't want it. It's this sort of variable cost. They never know how much you're going to work in a given week or month. Could be a lot, could be a little. You send them an invoice, it's always a different amount. They never know when you're going to be done. I've had people, back when I billed by the hour, years and years, over a decade ago, I just remember it was the dreaded comment from more than one client where we'd be, $50,000 into a project, billing by the hour, and they say, I've spent $50,000 and I've got nothing to show for it. When is this going to be done? You get to a certain point where the amount of money that you bill them is more than what it was worth to them in the first place, but they're so buried in it that they either have to cut the thing off and start over with someone else, or just give up on the whole thing, or keep their fingers crossed and hope that one more invoice and we'll be done. One more invoice and then we'll be done. One more month or one more week or whatever it is. They hate it. So the piece of advice is price something. Next time you have a small project come in, put a price on it. If you're so good at what you do and you're great at it, stand behind your price. Say it's going to be $10,000. It's going to be $20,000, whatever. And if it turns out you're wrong, well, get better at estimating.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Very good advice. Thank you. All right. So now we have a much better understanding of what you do. Let's dive into goal busting, the purpose of our podcast today, which is focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. So, Jonathan, could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
Sure. One that works for me that I think is pretty unusual is, well, first you want to know what your goal is. So let's say you have some idea of what your goal is, and then you come up with a system that you believe will reach that goal. Once you've got that in place, and that's two huge, big conversations right there. But once you have that, there's something unusual that I do that I haven't seen a lot of people do, which is I have a daily to-do list, which, using an application called Remember the Milk, but you could use whatever one you want. They all have this feature where I have about 12 or 13 to-dos that reoccur on my list every single day. So I have to do these things every single day, 7 days a week. And they're a mix of personal and business things. But once you know what your goal is and you set a system to reach them, or you have a list of tasks that you believe will ultimately reach to that, do a little bit every single day in that direction, and you'll build a daily habit that results in you getting closer to that goal.
Absolutely. Be very much outcome focused or result focused, as we call it. In fact, that's a recurrent theme coming through your whole talk today. Talking about billing based on results, not billing based on hours worked. It's the
Mhm.
result is what the client really is after. They're
Yeah,
not after your
exactly.
rate per hour. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So on that note, what should I have asked you today, Jonathan, that I didn't? And your answer, please.
About my daily mailing list, probably. Speaking of daily tasks. So I've been writing a daily mailing list since July of 2016. And if the kind of business that you run is based on your intellectual property or your thought leadership, then I have never encountered anything that crystallizes your thinking more clearly than writing about it every day and publishing it for an audience.
Wow, and that's amazing discipline. 2016. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in the sequence.
Thousands, yeah, I think
Yeah,
over
thousands.
over
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's hundreds, but it's thousands too. Yeah, absolutely.
Fair point.
Yeah. Actually, what you were saying earlier about billing by results and not by the hour. I always remember I had a guy that did a job for me once, quite a big job over many months. And it was back in the days when people used, paper and not just spreadsheets on computers. And he said, I've got a file here. It's 6 inches thick of all the work that I've done for you. And he said, do you want me to bill you by the inch, or shall I just think of a price? And I thought, okay, let's go for the price. And thank God I did, because he was very fair, very fair. But
That's
I
good.
think I had a feeling the inches would be a lot more expensive, and the result would have been the same, but I would have been poorer.
Mm, yeah,
Okay, so that was brilliant. Thank you so much, Jonathan. That has been an absolute masterclass. I anticipated it would be, and it was. And I completely agree with what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I think that's hugely valuable, a very important resource indeed. Speaking of which, how can people reach you, Jonathan? And also, is there like a valuable free resource they could get from you, which I always think is a neat way of people finding out more about you by getting a little taste of your work?
Yeah, I would send people to valuepricingbootcamp.com. That'll redirect to my website, jonathансtark.com. It'll redirect you to a page on my site that will let you sign up for a free 6-day course that will teach you about my approach to pricing projects, which is to use value of the result instead of the hours that it's going to take you to do it. And if you're good at what you do and you get clients who really, really want to work with you, this can have a dramatic positive effect on your prices.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds brilliant. And I cannot stress enough. I mean, I'm going to go and look at that myself, because the psychology behind all of this, people not valuing what they do enough in their own minds. You need to break through that if you haven't already. And so I'm sure you cover that. And I'm sure just immersing yourself in what you teach is a hugely valuable thing. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
Sure.
And on that note, we must finish, but it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again, Jonathan Stark.
My pleasure. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you. And remember, keep goal busting and make your future self proud. And bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to GoalBusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate, and review it on your favorite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.